All right, today we are diving into one of life's greatest mysteries, the teenager. It's a challenging, confusing, but you know what? A totally normal phase. And if you're a parent, it can seriously feel like you're trying to navigate a minefield. So, let's get into it.
I mean, does this feel familiar? One day they are your sweet, loving child, and the next, it's complicated. They can be moody, defiant, and honestly, it feels like they're speaking a whole new language. If you're feeling totally exhausted and just at a loss, you are definitely not alone. This is a super common struggle, and today we're going to explore how to build a bridge.
So, based on our source material, we've kind of boiled the whole approach down into what we're calling 7 golden rules. Think of this as your toolkit for reconnecting and just making your relationship better. Look, they aren't magic spells, but they are practical, effective strategies that really work.
Let's kick things off with the first 4 pillars of this bridge we're trying to build. As you can see, they are listen carefully, accept differences, grant privacy, and be patient. Now, these sound simple, right? But it's how we actually do them that makes all the difference in the world. You know, this right here makes such a critical point. Listening isn't just about shutting your mouth while they talk. It's about actively engaging with them. I mean, put the phone down, make some eye contact, and show them that you are completely absorbed in what they have to say, even if it seems totally trivial to you. That engagement, it validates their feelings and sends a powerful message: you matter.
And that leads us perfectly into rule number 2, accepting different opinions. Let's be real, your teen grew up in a world that is wildly different from the one you grew up in. Their entire perspective is shaped by technology and social norms you never had. So dismissing their view as just being a kid thing is pretty much the fastest way to build a wall between you. But look at the difference on the right. A simple phrase like, "I see your point," can crack open the door to a real, actual conversation.
Okay, now for a tricky one, privacy. Teens crave independence, and you've got to grant them some of it to build trust. That means letting them have their own space. But the source advises a really balanced approach. Just like the quote says, monitor them from a distance without them noticing. You need to be aware of who their friends are and what they're generally up to, but do it subtly. The whole goal here is to protect, not to spy.
And this slide just perfectly sums up rule number 4. Patience. Seriously, this is your superpower. Your teen is transforming, and they see any direct order as a challenge to their newfound independence. Shouting is almost always going to backfire. Instead, calm guidance and, well, a whole lot of deep breaths will get you so much further.
All right, let's get into the final 3 keys for building a much stronger connection. These next rules really shift the dynamic from just being an authority figure to being more of a partner. It's all about being their friend, setting very clear boundaries, and, this is a big one, letting them solve their own problems.
So, what does being their friend even mean? It's not about being their buddy or giving up your role as a parent. No way. It's about creating this safe, judgment-free zone. A space where they know for sure that they can come to you with any problem, and you'll listen first, without immediately jumping to anger or punishment. But being a friend doesn't mean there are no rules, and that's exactly where rule number 6 comes in. You absolutely must establish firm, non-negotiable boundaries, what we call the red lines. Things like disrespect, aggression, or hurting their siblings are just not acceptable. And the consequences for crossing these lines have to be crystal clear and consistent. This isn't about control, it's about building mutual respect. And finally, we have rule number 7, empower them. When your teen is facing a problem, you have to resist that powerful urge to just jump in and fix everything for them. Be their backup, not their solution. Give them the space to try and figure it out on their own first. This shows them you have confidence in them, and it builds incredible self-trust and resilience.
Okay, so you've tried all of this. You are being patient, you're listening, you're setting boundaries, but things are still really, really tough. And this leads to that nagging question on this slide that, let's be honest, every parent secretly fears: is this just normal teenage stuff, or is it something more?
So let's shift gears for a minute. It is absolutely crucial to know the difference between typical teenage turbulence and signs of a deeper issue that might require some outside help. Our source is very clear on this. Some behaviors should never be ignored.
I want you to pay really close attention to these red flags. If you notice sudden, extreme negative changes in how they look, constant aggression and fighting, a deep sadness that just won't go away, or a complete withdrawal from their friends and family, it's time to seek professional help.
These are not typical teenage struggles. They're signs that your child might need expert support. Please don't ignore them.
Now, while you're navigating all of this, it is so easy to fall into a few really common parental traps. These are those instinctive reactions that might feel right in the moment, but they can actually make the whole situation a lot worse.
This quote from our source really gets to the heart of the biggest mistake you can make, approaching this time in their life as a war to be won, instead of just a natural phase of growth. If you go into this expecting a battle, well, a battle is exactly what you're going to get.
This adversarial mindset is just so damaging. The source actually compares it to trying to stop a speeding train. You'll either get run over, meaning your teen completely rebels, or you'll derail the train, causing their self-confidence to just collapse. Neither one of those is a win. This is a natural process that you can't stop. You can only guide it.
And here are 3 more huge traps to avoid at all costs. First, reacting to every mistake with harsh punishment that just destroys that safe space we talked about. Second, ignoring the massive psychological storm that's happening inside their head. And third, just dismissing their worldview because it's different from yours. That will shut down communication faster than anything.
So after looking at the rules, the red flags, and all the traps, what's the resolution? What's the big takeaway? It all comes down to a fundamental shift in your perspective. And this slide really says it all. Your job isn't to be a warrior fighting against your teen. Your job is to be their guide as they go through this incredible transformation. You're not their opponent, you're their most important coach. So we're going to leave you with this final, powerful thought. Stop asking, how do I control my teenager? That's the wrong question. The real question is, how do I understand them? The moment you shift your focus from control to understanding, that's when the entire dynamic of your relationship can truly begin to change for the better.